This is Nick, host of the Commonwealth, and we are going to start a new type of podcast episode where it's just the Commonwealth's team talking and just discussing about like everything happening with the Commonwealth. And I also wanted to take this episode as a chance for us all to like update the we're back kind of a storyline that we just mentioned last week. But first, I'm going to have everyone sitting in on this call introduce themselves and what they do for the Commonwealth. And it's also been like 5 months since all of us got together. So if you could also kind of give like an update on your life of what's happened in the last 5 months for you. And Ashley just said the first noise, so I'll have Ashley go first.
That's my bad. Well, hi, I'm Ashley Hanson. I run the social media for the Commonwealth. Recently, I've just been doing, social media stuff. I am also helping with Lincoln Calling this year, so that's been super exciting. I'm in the process of moving at the moment, so my life has been chaotic, taking up new projects, finding a new home. That's the update there, but I do have a home, so I won't be on the streets. So that's always, it's always a good update.
Yes, that's always positive. And it's been cool to kind of see Ashley start doing, like, take what she's been doing for the Commonwealth and apply it to like Lincoln Calling and here Grand Island and just kind of all the other like cultural centers of Nebraska's, music scene and cultural happenings. Hunter, how about you?
Yo guys, what's up? It's Hunter Bergman on the mic. I'm just kidding. I always wanted to say that just to jump in, but I'm Hunter Bergman. I'm a junior marketing major at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. I'm currently minoring in entrepreneurship, as well as have an emphasis in sales. I love it. I'll be a 5th year senior, so I'll graduate next year, and I don't know, I have a lot of fun. I love skateboarding, and I'm here to talk about the Roaring 20s.
Yeah, we were kind of BSing before we turned the mics on. Hunter, what do you do for the Commonwealth?
Oh, I for the Commonwealth, I am the young Jamie. To Nick would be the Joe Rogan, and I would be his young Jamie. So I'm a production assistant. We set up the cameras, make sure the audio's good. And how I say it is I help tell the story of our individual guests. I think that's the most important thing. Setting up the different cameras and angles and stuff like that makes it a little bit more of tells the story a little bit more, you can kind of focus on the person who's talking and whatnot. So
yes, yeah, absolutely. Hunter does a killer job setting up all this stuff. I talk to like my film buddies and they ask, how long does it take Hunter to set up? And he can go from like a packed bag full of stuff to a studio ready to record in like 20 minutes. And it's very, very impressive.
Impressive. My goodness. I feel like you should time yourself and like, when they go into like the, pits of the, racetrack, they do those really fast. I feel like that's you, Hunter.
That is totally me. We're like, Nick, we got to shoot. Like, when did you say that we were recording? Like, we have the interview scheduled for 3:30 to 4. Now we're late. No, I'm just kidding.
So we took about 6 weeks off from releasing content. And dropped the first episode last Thursday, and it was a collaboration with Taylor Gage, Megan Swanson, and Landon Rhodes. And it was, just a good, important conversation to kick this next chapter of the Commonwealth off. But in the meantime, I kind of wanted to give an update on where we're currently at with the Commonwealth and like sort of what any updates any creative updates that have taken place in the last 6 weeks. And the first is, when I started the show, it was a project for a regional newspaper. And I was told to not interject myself like at all at the beginning. And I think looking back, that's not great advice. And it's important to I am the underlining thread and we are all the underlining thread of the Commonwealth, and sharing that and and making a character of myself and of ourselves, I think is important. So that's, the first update is we are, instead of interviewing someone every week, we're going to do this a lot more frequently of just getting together and talking about what we learned from guests or things we're looking forward to, and just kind of speak about our personal perspectives on the world. And my assumption is both Hunter and Ashley are going to be sitting in on these a lot, but there's a bunch of other people we work with who may also stop by and kind of give their 2 cents. That Emmy, my girlfriend, and I co-host a podcast with her. She just released her first single. Right when I said I was going to do this, she's like, "Oh, can I come next week?" So we're already wanting people to stop by. Yes.
good. We need her here.
Yeah. And then the next thing, I've spent a bunch of time thinking through like what exactly it is the Commonwealth accomplishes. And I shared it with both Hunter and Ashley in different contexts. If there's anything after I share it with the world that you two want to chime in on. But I think the three things the Commonwealth like does is feature societal changes. So how is our society, how has it changed in the past? How is it changing now? And how is it changing in the future? The second is sharing personal narratives. So how does someone from Mike Smith go from a skateboarding high schooler to making content that's distributed to millions of high schoolers across the nation? And that there's kind of two folds of the personal narratives. First is like the personal narratives of the guests we talk about, but also like our personal narratives and how are we learning and growing and like shaping over time. And then third is inspiring someone to start. And I was just speaking to a group of college kids that Hunter got me connected to. And kind of the thing I champion is I would have never had a career in podcasting if I wouldn't have started making podcasts. No one would have a music career if they didn't start making music, or a career in social media. So whatever it is you want to do, get off the couch and start doing it. And that is the third aspect that the Commonwealth has grasped before, but we're going to focus on those three things moving forward. Do either of you two have like what do you think of that, and like does that reflect what I guess did that reflect your understanding of the Commonwealth before I said it to both of you two?
I would add that we're a community, right? Like when I you say I work for the Commonwealth, and I say this, I think I said this on the last time we all got together too, but it's not really like a job. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I show up, I love it, we like hang out, you know, it's just like hanging out with friends, you know? And I think that's what, when you're listening to it, it's like, right? You're just jamming especially with like the Mike Smith one, I felt like I was in the room and I felt like we were all friends, you know, just hanging out, right? Of course, I was there in person and we were all like hanging out, you know, but to me, I think when I listen to the episodes, and just the content too as well, and like who we are as a culture of the Commonwealth, I think we're more of a community, right? We're a community of disruptive leaders, a community of, you know, people who support one another. And I think, you know, Nick, you've had a huge stem from the Lincoln startup ecosystem. And that's where I met you. I met you at the IO 2020 summit, I believe. It was in person, you know, crazy, a summit in person, you know, which was a ton of fun, you know, but I think that's where kind of your roots stem from. And Lincoln's entrepreneur ecosystem is so supportive. So I think you get elements of that when you jam to the podcast. Hopefully that wasn't a complete tangent, but Ashley, I'll let you jump on the mic.
Yeah, so I really think that one of the most important things that we can do in terms of, you know, defining the brand is really figuring out what is our themes. And I think that you completely nailed what our themes are here. We are learners, we are educators, we are entrepreneurs, we are storytellers, we are all these things and more because of this podcast. And I think that by saying, you know, these three things that we're focusing on, these topics, or this is what we're trying to accomplish here, I think that that's a really good step in terms of marketing. But like Hunter said, this like doesn't feel like a job. I get to be as creative as I want with this podcast. And it's really funny to hear like, you know, Hunter's side and, you know, version of the Commonwealth, because it's also similar but different from my version. Whereas, you know, I'm not with you guys as often. I'm more behind the scenes. I'm, you know, posting the things on social media and promoting us. But it's a very similar yet different experience because, like I said, I get to be creative. I get to stay home, which is nice for my own sake. And yeah, it's very fun. And I'm glad that we're continuously rediscovering the brand, rediscovering our roles, rediscovering our skills that we can bring to the table here. Because I feel like, you know, the last few weeks, Nick and I have been talking a lot about like, okay, so what's the next step for this brand? Where are we moving forward? Like, how can we improve on this brand already? And I think this is an excellent step forward.
Yes. Yeah. Well, thank you. And I'm definitely looking forward to like having you guys get more of like become characters of the show. Like you have all been a part of it, kind of behind the scenes, but people will like start to learn more about both what you do and like also your take on things. So yes, I'm excited for all of that. And then the kind of next big update that is worth sharing is I'm really thinking through of like the different media products the Commonwealth can produce. And I'm kind of breaking it down into like, my vision is in the next, a year from now, it'll have 3. And the first one is like the 25 to 45 minute long podcast episode. And that one, like we're obviously doing, it's this that you either watch on YouTube or listen in your podcast feeds. The next is like a 3 to 10 minute long YouTube series. And we've kind of like, I guess, dabbled in this in the past, but I would like it to more like complement the podcast and still achieve the similar things, the same sort of things or like the same exact things I touched on earlier. But be different, that if you just watch the 3, like some people will just watch the 3-minute long YouTube videos in a series. But they may also then go like watch the full length podcast. And then the third one that we're actually very, very close to launching is creating a 30 to 60 second long video product for TikTok and Instagram Reels. And again, it's the same sort of concept, like that type of content will accomplish the same 3 things that the podcast already does, but will be told by someone different. We're working with actually Caitlin Clays, who is one of my podcast co-hosts for Mug.News. We host the Ecosystem Builder podcast together, and she is going to make TikTok videos that highlight people's different like personal narratives. And she's working with Ashton and I, and we're kind of refining the idea, and should launch it probably in the next 2 to 4 weeks, I'd guess. And then Hunter and Ashley may also make TikTok videos, and I would like to make that short form content myself.
Quick disclaimer: I am not a TikToker.
Yeah, okay.
I actually don't have TikTok on my phone.
You don't have to be. You don't have to be. Do you know how easy it is to dive into the world of TikTok? You just do your thing that you do on like Instagram stories or Snapchat, and you put it on TikTok. I'm telling you, it's not that hard. It's great. We'll transform you into a TikTok star. We're going to transform you, Hunter. You're going to pop off. It's going to be amazing.
I would be great at TikTok. Do you know how many clips I have of me like wiping out on a skateboard or like crashing my motor? Like I raced motocross one time. I was telling my brother, I was like, we were like showing up, and he's like, bro, like I'm going to race the quad, but do you want to race my bike? And I was like, I have like maybe 3 hours on this dirt bike. And he's like, no, you got it. You're a natural born athlete, whatever. You can race it. So I'm like, sure, whatever. So I'm racing this dirt bike, and I absolutely like mad crash it. Like it like tumbles. It was crazy. Yeah. But so like stuff like that would be so good for TikTok.
Yeah. I had a skiing accident. Yeah. I had a skiing accident like last week or 2 weeks. I went skiing 2 weeks ago and just tumbled down the mountain. It was like multiple rolls of my whole body.
Where's the GoPro, man? Where's the footy, bro? Where's the footy?
Yeah, everyone I was with was laughing that we didn't have footage. And just for a slight clarification, like Caitlin will probably make like TikToks for herself, and I definitely post TikToks like that just for myself. But on the Commonwealth's account, it'll still do like what the podcast does, but just in 60 seconds or less. So like you probably like if there would have been footage of me just wiping out on the mountain, it probably wouldn't have been folded under like the Commonwealth's brand, but it's good content nonetheless, Hunter. So download TikTok. It is the best.
It's time. It's time to give in. You gotta stop resisting it.
And as a marketing major, I have to be up on the newest trends in like digital advertising, because like that's kind of TikTok, it's branding.
That is TikTok. So there's also rumors that supposedly maybe TikTok and the Grammys next year are going to collaborate for the show. So I'm just saying this brand is huge. It's blowing up. And it makes sense to me because look at all the top songs that blew up on TikTok this year. Hunter, maybe you don't know as much, but Nick, all the songs that like popped off on TikTok, it's absolutely huge. And I think that anyone who isn't utilizing TikTok right now for their brand is making a big mistake. Big mistake. We
talked to Cruz on, we recorded an episode with Cruz, Nick, your friend, Cruz the Junebug, who makes music. And he was talking about, he's like making music for TikTok now. Like he said a little bit about that in his interview. And I was like, I'd never really even thought about that. And I was like, it's so crazy how TikTok's only been around for a year, and it's shaping the future that the people, 2 years-ish, maybe. I don't know. Vine, I'm still a Vine fan. Rip Vine. But, I think that it's crazy that this one platform is changing the way that people even produce music.
Well, it's amazing. I think the progression of TikTok, because it actually began as Musically back in the day. I don't remember. I don't know if either one of you remember that.
Yeah, I remember
That was like
Musically.
back in 2014. It lasted for about until, yeah, I guess a couple of years ago, and then it became TikTok. Anyway, yeah, I think TikTok's absolutely amazing, and I think making music. I mean, people put music behind their TikToks all the time, and if you have like a good beat, yeah, that can pop off.
Can
It's
you
worth
teach
it.
me how to make TikToks?
I will. We'll have a seminar. We'll have a Commonwealth seminar and go through the do's and don'ts of TikTok. We can do it.
And what Cruz mentioned, and you could see Drake do it. And the Cruise episode is yet to be all put together, so we're gonna drop it in the next probably month or so. But like, what's the Drake song actually
Allegedly,
like?
sorry.
Yeah, allegedly, yeah. What's the Drake song like? The Tootsie Slide was like left foot up, right foot, whatever. But like people made it. It was like written. That hook was written for TikTok. You could just like hear the way it was put together. It was like Drake was like looking at TikTok when he was making this. So the kind of the next thing I wanted to like check with you guys all, that it is first a societal change, and it's also like a very unique time we're living in about like COVID vaccine rollout, and everyone's waiting in line to get it, and there's the whole like COVID hesitancy debate. How does everyone on the call feel about the vaccine? And I guess to start with, have you gotten it?
Yes, I got vaccinated. I got this little patch on here. I got vaccinated this last, I believe Thursday at 5 p.m. and I vlogged it. So if we want to push the vlog through the Commonwealth, I would be happy to promote that. But it was. When I was there, guys, it's insane. Like, I felt like we were winning a war, like people were standing in line and like, elderly people, like obviously I'm not the demographic that really needs the vaccine. Like, I think, the people that need the vaccine first are like the elderly. I'm a student worker on campus, and so that's why I qualified for it. And I was like, I'm just going to grab it while I can because, through talking about disruptive change, guys, we've witnessed and have been part of this massive reshifting of the world, the way that we work, the way that we speak to each other. Zoom's been around for more than 10 years, and now we are just starting to use it. It like corporate, like the C-suite, they always have used video conferencing software and stuff like that, but now it's consumerized. But what I think is so exciting is when I was standing in line, I could just hear people talking about like, this is history, like this is, like, and it is like part of something, and so it was exciting. And I think, everybody should get vaccinated, right? It's actually really safe. It's not a microchip. And it's I don't know about the other ones, but I know the mRNA one, I believe that was Pfizer. They're just putting, it's like a vehicle that teaches your body how to make the spike proteins. Now, I'm probably extremely off. However, in my little vlog, my friend Ashley Clegg, she actually conducts research on coronavirus. She's been published about her research in coronavirus. So I went with her, and like I was like asking her, I was like, what's this? What's that? Like a kid in a candy shop. But when you're a baby, you get vaccinated, you get like 12 to 15 vaccines, like right when you're young, right? So this one vaccine is like nothing compared to like, it's just another vaccine that you'll get, right? And I think people being scared of it is literally just tension from the previous landscape of like the polarization of political parties. Like, to be honest, like look at the whole mask thing, right? Like that wasn't like I want to be safe and protect my community. It was like oh my goodness, like I'm red, I'm blue, my views, my perspective. It didn't have to always be like that, but I think that was a huge political topic. And so I think that's what has kind of transversed into the vaccine. And there's been so much like misinformation about it. And it's so hard to get clear information from the government, first and foremost, because all of these other things are going on. And then you have 80,000 people a day retweeting fake information, retweeting this microchip stuff, retweeting, it's kind of clouded. I don't know. That's my perspective. Get vaccinated. We're going to win this war. And then we're going to go into the roaring 20s where it's going to be a massive boom of concerts, of art and entertainment. People are going to go out. People are going to tell their family that they love them on a daily basis because sometimes And that's why I love getting the vaccine, because now I can feel comfortable going home and like giving my grandma a hug. You know, like let's talk about that. Like for the longest time when this happened, I was like, dude, like I can't see my family, I can't see my grandma. I love my grandparents and stuff, you know. And like we actually had a relative in my family. The uncle, I believe, passed away, and so they had a funeral, and some of the people that came to the funeral had the virus, and then yacked somebody else. And so like it was like scary, bro, like to go home to see people. So like now with the vaccine, that weight has been just lifted off my shoulders, and I can't explain that how heavy that is, you know?
That was a great little spiel. I mean, hell yeah. Hell yeah. You felt so passionately about it. So, I mean, it's hard not to feel passionate about this though. It's been like such an awful year that has felt like 3 years in one, you know. It's been exhausting and awful, and seeing the light at the end of the tunnel finally is so riveting at this moment. So that's amazing. Hunter coming in with the excitement energy.
Yeah, and Hunter, if you haven't published a blog or your vlog, I'm way open to doing so on the Commonwealth if you so choose.
Let's do it. FTJ.
Yeah, yes. And yeah, just kind of reiterate the point. We have lived the last, like, I would say even 5 years have been just pretty shitty for like, and not even like individually, just like as a society. We've had to deal with a lot of things. And to kind of touch on your like funeral story, I have a similar, like, COVID has sucked for me because, and it's illustrated through a funeral, that I had a high school friend pass away, and I was unable to go to their funeral because it was only like they're a very close family. And that was just a shitty, like, it's an example of like, we just live in like a crappy time. And I've yet to be vaccinated. I filled out the form, and they said for like healthy people in their 20s, they're not giving them vaccines yet, which makes perfect sense. And by no means do I need to be first in line, but you best believe I'm going to be in line. And just to reiterating Hunter's point, that I will buy so many concert tickets when live music is back. It'll be unbelievable.
The Commonwealth is going to shows, guys. We are going to be mobile. We're going to be in a unit, whether it's a van or something or a car. We're going to be posted up at like Coachella, hopefully. Nick, you got to work that one out.
Yes, I'll have to finesse that. But we were, before COVID, I was lining up or talking with the PR team at Bonnaroo to get press access to like interview the artists at Bonnaroo, which would be so exciting. So yeah, attending I will just attend as a fan. I would like to attend as the Commonwealth and interview people there. I would also like, I would like to host live events again. The OG Commonwealth fans, and some maybe were even at the Commonwealth event, but we filled up the Foundry. And again, it's even weird to say like we had like 75 people show up to a live event, but it was before COVID changed our world, and I would like to keep on doing that. So yes, I kind of assumed we would all be like a pro-vaccine group, and I'm happy to like communicate it on the Commonwealth channel. Anything else on this before I like close out with this last question?
Don't be scared. Don't be scared of things. I mean, like, I understand that. I think one of the biggest things that like I feel is people just don't have the information. You know what I'm saying? I think because it's so hard to like find like real information, and like, what are you going to schedule like a 15-minute conversation with your doctor? Like, not really, you know? So I don't know. Don't be scared.
Just look at, like, there are facts that are credible out there, and if you're hesitant, you can reach out to people, you can ask questions. It doesn't hurt to ask questions, but ultimately get vaccinated so we can have the party of the century. Like, don't worry about what's in it. I mean, that's one thing, but like, think of the parties, think of how everyone's gonna go hard after this.
The next New Year's is gonna be crazy.
Yeah. So this last question I think is how I would like to end every single one of these, like behind the scenes, or like the Commonwealth teams talking, is just answer the question, what are you looking forward to? And that can be like both something very specific in the next couple of weeks. It can be super broad, answer however you want. But what are you looking forward to? And it can be what we just talked about for this one episode.
Hunter, you want to go first?
Man, you know I always have something to say.
Go for it.
Yeah, no. What I'm looking forward to is really maximizing my potential as a young individual. I mean, with COVID, like, people talk a lot of smack about COVID and stuff like that, but personally and professionally, I've never been in specific, like, better specific situations or career path situations. Like I'm working with the Commonwealth. Things are going great. We're having a ton of fun. And that's growing my skills personally and professionally, as well as I am part of Yacht, which is a student or a full service agency ran by students and guided by industry professionals. And so I'm learning a ton about the agency world, how to grow an agency, what is, the culture of an agency, that kind of stuff. I'm also working at the Center for Entrepreneurship and helping cultivate the community of like Startups UNL. And like these people are doing such great things that like I'm just so excited to be in the position of everything. And like I think life's all about timing. And so I think timing wise, I'm just like I'm like a little bit away to like max peak of like college Hunter. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody's got that college you where you like kind of peak a little bit and then like you kind of like you graduate and you're like, all right, what's next? So I think like I'm almost at that peak. But yeah, I'm really excited to get back to normal. I mean, not really get back to normal, but like not be scared to be in a crowd of 20 people, have that like little bit of anxiety. I think there's going to be one concert and then there's going to be another concert and then there's going to be another concert and people are like, oh, we're doing this now. And then it's just going to like go off and be crazy. So the Roaring 20s guys, let's make that a movement. If you're jamming to the Commonwealth, start telling your friends when this is over, we're getting crazy.
Hell yeah. That's the energy that we want to go into this new year with. I mean, I guess this year has already begun, but the next new year, I'm looking forward to, on personal notes, I'm looking forward to moving to a new place and not having to worry about that anymore. Cause my God, they're tearing down like basically our whole block to put in new college housing. And I was like, oh, cool. Awesome. They're kicking out people who have lived here for many years to put in 100 more college students. So, but anyway, on a positive note though, we're excited about moving to a new place. I'm excited to get things going with like Here GI because we're looking to get summer concerts going this summer. I mean, they're free. They're in the summer. They're once a week. So we're really stoked about that. We got the green light to go ahead and do it from the city. So
what is Here GI, Ashley?
So Here Grand Island is a part of Here Nebraska. So it's a summer concert series that happens throughout Nebraska. This used to be under Here Nebraska, but now it's like independently owned by somebody who is in Grand Island. So we get local bands, we get regional bands, we got bands all over the place that come over, and we're only limiting to like one day this week. Last year, in 2019, I guess it was like for 3 days over the weekend. Now that's a little too crazy for us this year. So we're doing once a week. We have some amazing bands that we are contacting and then trying to get lined up and everything. But yeah, just super stoked to get that going because I think that that's a good sign that things are getting back to normal. If we can put on this concert series with no problems, then I'm more than happy. That's more than I could ever ask for right now. So just stoked to get those things going, be a part of bringing back some normalcy, being a part of bringing back the thing that I miss the most. That's super exciting right now.
I'm really excited to ramp the Commonwealth back up. It was good to like pause it for a period of time. That was like a healthy thing for it.
Yes.
And starting with our next interview next Monday is with Clark and Anderson. They're a like renowned architecture firm, and we spoke with their lead engineer and architect about like the future of architecture and how they're shaping the industry. And my biggest takeaway was that virtual reality it will totally change how buildings are created. That they'll be able to design the building, and then the client can walk through it with like virtual reality goggles on before they even like start building it. And so it was a fascinating like 25-minute long conversation. So that's next week. Do either of you two have anything before I read the outro out? Anything to cap off the episode?
Go check out our latest episode. It's super interesting. There was a lot of great conversation that was to be had. It was interesting to hear all these different backgrounds and different points of view in terms of social media and the future of it. So go check out that last episode. And yeah, snag a t-shirt if you haven't. My God, we got to promote that again. Come on. We want to put out new merch. Get those shirts so we can put out more.
Yes, all of these will have video except for this one. For some production reason, we didn't capture video of this, but Hunter is actually wearing the Commonwealth t-shirt, and there's only a handful left. So hit us up on Instagram if you want a t-shirt.
It's an exclusive run too. It's an exclusive run, so you will not be able to purchase this t-shirt ever again in your lifetime. So if you want to get be a founding purchase member, founding community member of the Commonwealth, jump at it. Also, I think follow our personal accounts on Instagram and stuff, because I think the Commonwealth is absolutely fantastic, right? But kind of we are the Commonwealth, right? So check out what we're doing. DM us, man. Say what's up. If you jammed to this, say what's up. DM me and be like, hey, man, I jammed to that last Commonwealth episode, and that's so exciting, or something like that. I love that interaction.
Plug your handle in. Say your handle.
Man, I should probably have that on lock. I think it's hbergman98. I don't know. Let me double check that so I'm not sending people to some random site. hbergman98. It'll definitely say the young Jamie at the Commonwealth Media. So in my bio.
Yeah, mine's Nick Castner or Commonwealth_media. Both get to me. And for real, we do listener, hit us up and say basically whatever. I get a bunch of messages on Facebook actually too. So, I appreciate it. Yes. Ashley, what's your handle? And then I will finish out the.
Yeah, my Insta handle. You can find me on Insta, Twitter, TikTok, Pinterest, all of these platforms, through the infamous handle Ashley C. Hanson. It's not to be confused with Ashley Chanson. I'm not French. I'm not that cool. It's Ashley C. Hanson. So remember that. But yeah, if you hit us up, let us know what you like, what you don't like. If there's somebody that that you think should be featured, let us know. I mean, we're always looking for new content, new guests, new stories to cover. The best way we can do that is through your help, the listeners.
And to finish off this episode, thank you for listening. For real, we appreciate it so much. If you're looking to support the show, tell your friends about it. It's a community, and the only way it grows is by people like yourself telling people about it. Or leave a review wherever you listen to podcasts. We release episodes every single every single Monday, so tap the subscribe button. This is a product of KZUM Radio and Herd App Media. The show is produced by Hunter Bergman, social media promotions by Ashley Hanson, edited by Kyle Kua. Shout out Kyle. We release episodes every single Monday, so stay tuned for next week.